You guys, I feel like I've been a bad friend to you. I have been gone for about a month and a half because fatherhood really threw me for a loop. In my last video, I told you that I got a puppy during Christmas and she is the sweetest thing in the world. I'm obsessed with her. I love her, but she is also a full-time job. And on top of that, I've just been going through life changes, and in the midst of all of these things, I feel like I've been neglecting our friendship. So I would like to ask you for a fresh start because I would never treat my friends that way. And I feel like you guys are my friends. So yeah, we're back, we're better than ever. And I'm super excited about the video that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys today because it's actually all about fresh starts. More specifically, how to kind of like refresh or revitalize or freshen up your home for spring. I have spent the past month and a half really analyzing my space, kind of reshifting the focus of the direction I want to take it. I actually have so many home updates to share with you guys. You can probably see one of them behind me. I did get a new bed. I'll include the details for that in my next video, which will be a home update video. But I'm really excited about this video because throughout the process of me being in my space in the new year, I've just gotten so many ideas about ways that you can refresh your space and really prepare it for a new season and make it a place that you want to be in. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm very excited about it. If you have not yet already, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and if you want to drop a comment, say hi. Let me know if you're excited for spring and one thing you're gonna do to freshen your space up. I also want to note that I am on Instagram and TikTok as well. I will drop those links below, so be sure to follow me there, say hello. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for the intro that we need, or if that's it. I think we're good. Let's get into it, guys. Number one, declutter your space. Now, I am a Cancer, and if you know anything about Cancers, and I guess water signs in general, we're very sentimental. We like to cherish things because we get emotionally attached to them. But one thing that has made my space feel so good in the new year, and also my mind, is to clear all of the clutter out. I'm talking about the stuff that we just keep around that we don't really love, which ultimately causes our space to feel less curated. Your home should be a reflection of who you are as a person. So when I was trying to refresh my space for spring, I knew before I bought any new pieces or rearranged furniture or swapped out linens or did anything, I just needed to get the mess under control. I needed to clear out all of that dead energy in my space and really make room for new, open energy. I feel like trying to refresh your space without first decluttering it is only going to really quickly put you back into a position of feeling very stagnant and unhappy with your space. It's a really tough exercise to go through and do this, but it's like the most essential part of this entire video in order to actually be able to like fully immerse yourself in all the other steps. I want to challenge you this week to set aside a few hours that you can dedicate to cleaning out your space. This doesn't have to feel like a chore. I think for me, I love romanticizing the act of cleaning. It's arguably like one of the only ways I can clean and like get anything done. I like to make coffee and turn on a good podcast or audiobook, and it's amazing how quickly time flies and the process actually becomes quite meditative. If you want to approach this process room by room, you can do that, and that does actually make the entire experience feel a little more digestible, especially if you don't have time to tackle the whole home. But for me personally, I had clothing not just in my bedroom, but in other areas of my house. So I actually did my decluttering process sort of by the subject of what it was I was decluttering. I started with clothing, and then I moved to like skincare, fragrance, like those types of products. And after that went into like home goods, kitchen, to clear out pots and pans and old plates and just things that it's like I had excess of that I didn't actually use. There's quite a few ways you can go about this, but the most important part is just committing to setting aside time for it and then making sure that time you're spending is romanticized in some way. That is my hack to do anything I don't want to do. You have to like find a way to make it fun. And then, like I said, it becomes kind of zen. Like you get into it and you're like in a flow state. And the next thing you know, your whole space is clear and open and decluttered. Before we move on any further, I want to take a second to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's today's video, and the first brand to ever sponsor a YouTube video of mine, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry pros across film, illustration, design, painting, crafting, music, and literally anything else you can think of. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am a student when it comes to interiors and decorating my home. I have no formal training on this, so I am always eager to learn from professionals, since a lot of what I know has come from trial and error in the process of decorating my home. They've created a whole learning path so that you start at the most basic fundamental stage and work your way through to the end where you feel like you've gained so much knowledge and a really rewarding sense of confidence about whatever topic you're learning about. I have really been enjoying the Style Your Space learning path, which is taught by Emily Henderson and has given me so many helpful tips and insights on the methodology behind why certain things do and don't work in your home. I know for a lot of us who are learning, the process of decorating is very experimental, it's intuitive in a way, but this class actually gave me a lot of actionable insights to really have a framework for when it comes to decorating my space and knowing why I'm making certain decorative choices. The first 500 people who use my link, which I'm putting below, will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I promise you're gonna love it. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Number 2 is to incorporate new scents into your space. I am big into fragrance. I love smelling good. I love for my space to smell good. I'm a firm believer in the fact that scent does have the ability to impact your emotions, but more specifically, I love that scent really acts as such a touch point to mark different chapters of your life. So when I think of starting fresh or refreshing, or in general wanting to freshen a space up, scent is a big part of that. Now, the method in which you choose to scent your space is entirely dependent upon what you're comfortable with, what your nose and health can process, because I know some people are sensitive to anything that's fragrant, but I'm just gonna go over some of my favorite options today because, baby, I go all in. I like candles, I like essential oil diffusers, I like incense, I like my cleaning products to smell good, I like my laundry to smell good, and I wanna show you guys a few scented items that I really like to use for this time of year that I think smell invigorating and very ideal for this season. Number 1 is this candle from a brand called Elsewhere, which I happen to own. Shameless plug, but this scent is just one of the most unique and grounding, earthy scents that I have ever smelled. And I'm not just saying that because I helped create it and I own the brand. I genuinely am such a fan of all of the products that we have made and that we sell. Eden has notes of neroli, peach skin, apple, musk, a little bit of rose, and then at the base of the scent is that damp soil note, which is the most standout note in this scent. Growing up, I would help my mom garden, and for me, the smell of dirt is actually really beautiful and brings up a lot of good memories, but anything that's sort of earthy or garden adjacent really just screams spring. And we do have 6 other scents available. This isn't the only one from our collection that I would burn in my home because, quite honestly, I burn all of them year round, but this is the one that I do like most for this time of year. I'm gonna link Elsewhere below and give you guys a little discount code if you wanna shop and support my brand. Absolutely no pressure. I know candles are not for everybody, but I did have to include this because it is genuinely one of my favorite scents we make and so perfect for springtime. If you want something more subtle but still incredible smelling for your space, I love an essential oil diffuser because I've had Vitruvi diffusers for a couple years now and I'm a big fan. They're really consistent. They have great output of the actual like vapor that comes out the top. I also like that for diffusers, you just add a little bit of water and there's like a million different oils that you can pick from. Like, they make their own, but you can also shop oils from wherever. And it's just fun, all of the possibilities of what you can do with these. I personally like to keep a diffuser in the bathroom or in the kitchen. And if you have some sort of like focusing blend of essential oils, they're also great on a desk. So this is a good option. Next up is incense. And this particular one I got from a shop in downtown Los Angeles at The Row, I believe. And it is from a brand called Papier Labo. It's washi paper paper incense. So these are actually little paper tabs of incense. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but unlike an incense cone or a traditional incense stick, which I love those as well, this is just a piece of paper. You can burn it and it smokes and scents up a space in the exact same way that an incense stick would or a cone. I will say you have to sometimes relight the paper ones, but guys, the smell of this particular one, it's in the scent sage. It is so good. I'm not doing it justice by saying this, but it kind of just smells masculine, if that makes sense. I wish I could describe this scent better, but really love this one. And I was also in a coffee shop the other day and they were burning incense in there. And this particular incense smelled amazing, like literally so good. So those are two options that I really love, but I really like incense because it's just very vibey in a space. It also just kind of feels like it has a spiritual nature to it, which is quite different from like candles or diffusers. So I wanted to include it on the list because it is a personal choice of mine for like in the living room or like more open spaces. I don't love doing incense in super small spaces because I feel like it kind of hotboxes whatever room you're in, but in the living room, it's like so nice to put some incense on, crack the windows open a little bit, let a breeze roll through, and it just makes the space smell amazing. Number 3 is to change up your bedding. So in spring, it gets warmer out, meaning you probably don't want bedding that is too heavy. Like I love bedding that feels broken in and soft and airy, but also still cozy too. And for me, that would be linen. I love linen bedding. I do use it pretty much year round, but I think it's especially great for when the weather gets warmer. Another option is a really nice cotton. I love crisp white cotton sheets. I mean, I guess you can do whatever color you want and what makes sense for your space. Ultimately, there's just no feeling like fresh bedding. I also like any excuse to buy new bedding. It's probably one of my favorite things to buy for my home. If you've watched any of my content on any of my other social channels, you know I swap out my bedding a lot. I will be very upfront and say I'm thankful to have brands gift me stuff, so that is how I'm able to do that. But regardless, even when I was young, I invested in good bedding because sleep is important and comfort, in my opinion, is the greatest luxury. So I do think high quality bedding is worth investing in. I'm gonna pop a few of my favorite brands up on the screen. I think another aspect to consider with your bed is that you want it to be made. I think a made bed feels fresh, it's clean, it helps your room feel tidy. It also sets you up for success for the rest of your day. But most importantly, we wanna think about how can we make it easiest to make our bed. And I actually saw in one of Paige Wassel's videos, probably like a month or two ago, where she talked about ditching your top sheet and just having your fitted sheet and then your duvet or, you know, comforter, because when you do that, it's like less mess on the bed. And when I saw her video talking about that, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've never mentioned this on any of my content. A long time ago, I was buying bedding from Parachute and they sell a lot of their pieces a la carte. Like you buy the duvet cover and then you buy the pillowcases separate and then you buy the fitted sheet and the top sheet. And I think just in the process of me buying that stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is expensive. Do I really need a top sheet? So I just never bought one. And through the process of cheaping out and not getting a top sheet, I actually learned that it makes being consistent with making your bed so much easier. So I ditched my top sheet and I never looked back. And if I do it and if Paige is doing it, then for sure it's valid. It's a great tip and something I think you should do unless you're just super cold and need that top sheet. But generally speaking, I find that a duvet is plenty warm for me and I'm a pretty cold-natured person. I'm actually gonna do a breakdown of my bedding collection in an upcoming video where I'll show you guys where all of my bedding's from, what I like, what I don't like, what I look for, and I'm excited about that one because, like I said, I'm obsessed with bedding. Everyone in my life makes fun of me for it because I like having a nice bed. I'm literally on my bed right now. I'm quite proud of my bedding collection. Number 4 is bring the outside in. Literally just open the windows in your home and let that fresh air roll in. It's important to take advantage of this before it gets so hot you like have to use the air conditioning. So whenever it's that sort of transitory time period where the weather is kind of cool in the mornings and the evenings, but then warm during the day, I love to just keep my windows open. Something about the breeze rolling through the house, it just adds like a fresh liveliness to my space and makes me feel more connected to the outdoors. Even though I live in central LA. It costs $0. You can do it in seconds, and it has such an impact on just like making you feel invigorated and energized. Another thing that you can do is bring plants into your space, which I'm apprehensive to talk about this because I really struggle to keep a plant alive, but I'm trying my best to learn. And you know, when you do get a really nice plant or tree for your home, it feels like the most rewarding thing ever to take care of it and see it actually thrive. Any and everything I do know about plants, I have learned from Benji Plant, which is an amazing creator who kind of started in the plant space, but now does all types of home content as well. His house and personal style are just really effortless, yet put together and curated, but also like lived in and comfortable. He really does a great job of checking all the boxes. All the while, he is like a master at plants and knows everything about them, how to take care of them, and has great recommendations for incorporating plants into your space. One of my favorite parts of plant ownership is finding really cool pots for them. You can find tons that are available at thrift stores or on Facebook Marketplace. I tend to go for more low maintenance plants and trees. However, I do find that most of my favorite ones are always the ones that are hard to take care of. Like, I have this asparagus fern that I love. I think it's so pretty, but no matter how much love I give to her, she just keeps going on me. And if anyone has any tips for asparagus fern care, drop them in the comments because I need to bring her back to life. All right, and for our final tip, which is tip number 5, try something new. Trying something new can look like many different things depending on resources you have available to you and what you feel is necessary in your space. But I am someone who loves and craves change, specifically in my home. I get bored very quickly, and by far one of the best ways to make your home feel refreshed is to move things around, to start a new project like a DIY or room transformation. You could build a piece of furniture for your space. Like, I saw this TikTok the other day where this girl built this beautiful desk setup using like a piece of plywood from the hardware store and then screwed on legs to it. Like, there's so many fun projects that you can do that really just bring new life to your space. One option I love is, of course, painting. And you know, sure, you can go paint a whole bedroom, but what if you just painted the trim? That's like a fraction of the time involvement, less paint needed, and it just adds so much character to your space. The ideas here are pretty limitless, but I think spring is such a great time to experiment. So I encourage you to go around your home and find a room. You can start with one, and then if you have fun with that, you can go to the next. But find one room that you think really needs new life breathed into it. For example, if it's a bathroom, I would then go on Pinterest and find a bunch of inspiration for bathrooms I really like and think to myself like, okay, within my means and what I'm allowed to do in this apartment I'm renting, how can I kind of bring this space to life or make it feel new and exciting to me? Painting, peel and stick tile, hanging artwork, replacing a really plain mirror. Like, honestly, like everything I'm saying right now, I need to do in my own bathroom. My bathroom is so boring and plain, but the ideas are limitless here. Just have fun with it. And I think, yeah, like I said, spring is a great time for starting a new project, and there's just so many options available to you. I'm gonna put a couple ideas on screen of different trends or projects I've seen recently that I really love and think would be cool to do, and you can take inspiration from those if any of them kind of spark excitement for you. All right, guys, that concludes our video. I hope after watching you feel excited and inspired to go try something new and get in your space and really start excavating all that old energy and welcoming in so much new like life and warmth for the season that is now here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.